True horror stories submitted in Reddit. Disclaimer: these stories are submitted on a thread in Reddit page that conveys people's true horror stories that they had experienced firsthand. All of it are animated on AI.
This story happened back in 2017. I was trick-or-treating when my legs started to hurt like hell. Thankfully my house was nearby, so I walked home. My dad checked on me and said that he was going to be at the house across the lawn. That I said okay, and my dad left. I was laying on the couch eating some candy when suddenly my body went numb and I couldn't move. My vision got wired. The best way to put it is big black snowflakes. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. That I was suddenly able to move my head and looked into the other room where I saw a tall figure walking very slowly, but then it all ended and I was able to move again. That I told my mom about it, along with a few friends. No one believed me and they shrugged it off. Until now I am wondering what the hell was that.
The following stories are true, and will only be playing through AI that will roleplay the sender's stories.
When I was younger, I'd go visit my grandparents all the time. They lived in a one-floor house with an unfinished basement. I never liked it down there. It felt small for a big basement. There was a little door down there that was for storage, and I always got a horrible feeling when going close to it. And let me add that this was a newer house that was about 6 years. I remember going down there with my grandma to help with something. She had to run upstairs, because someone rang the doorbell. She said she would be right back, even though she knew how I felt about being alone down there, but I nodded and said, okay. She was gone and I was alone, and I started to get a bad feel in the pit of my stomach. I didn't move and didn't want to, even though the lights were on. Now this is where everything started happening, and it still gives me chills. The lights started to flicker, and I started to hear noises, and what sounded like talking, and it was not coming from upstairs, but in the storage room. I heard someone say my name. Here is the part that freaks me out the most. The voice sounded like my grandma. I was confused as hell. How am I hearing her when she is upstairs? I didn't want to move, but me being the curious one I started moving towards the storage room door. The closer I got, worse the bad feeling came. When I got to the door, the lights turned off in the basement. I wanted to run upstairs and hide, go home somewhere that wasn't the basement. I heard my name again for the second time. My grandma's voice asking me to open the door to help her, so I did, and I regret it. I couldn't see anything. It was pitch black. I couldn't hear anything but faint laughing that felt like forever, but then the laughing stopped, and the lights turned back on in the basement, and I felt a little bit better with the lights back on, but the downside, I could see a little in the storage room. I saw a small clown doll in the storage room, and my grandma hates clowns with a passion and wants nothing to do with them. So why is there a clown doll? I have no damn idea. I saw red that looked like blood all over the place. I screamed and blacked out, and the next thing I knew, I was laying on the couch, my grandma looking at me and asking if I was okay. I have no idea if that was real or a dream, but it sure as hell felt real.
Elderly lady in wrong car. Back when I was in high school, my best friend would basically hang out at school together because her dad was the warden of the local prison and his house wasn't even a half a mile from it. Her mom was judgmental and, well, a bit hostile. It was the attitude more than anything that kept me from hanging out over at her house. She was a woman you didn't mess with. One day my friend said her mother came home white as a ghost the night before because when she and her friends had come out of the grocery store, halfway to her car, they stopped and noticed someone in the back seat. She was thinking it was my friend, her daughter, but as she stepped closer, she saw that it was an elderly woman. Well, she started to go to the car, but her friends stopped her and said that she'd probably got off the bus from the assisted living center and she had better call the police and let them handle it. Well, she did, and within minutes, because they were practically around the block, the police car pulled up and she pointed to her car. The officer walked up to the window and she watched as the officer snatched the door open and literally yanked the old woman out and pushed her against the car and frisked her. My friend's mom was horrified until the officer snatched the wig off the man's head. She was frantic now because if it hadn't been for her friends, she would have gotten in and offered her a ride home. So check your backseat, people.
The woman in the white dress. This happened just yesterday, so it's fresh in my mind. I am not quite sure what to think of it because it was just so bizarre and unbelievable. I might have just been sleep deprived. So last night at maybe 23 o'clock I was walking around my block. My town is relatively safe, so I did not feel in danger, plus it was a pretty night. I had been walking for around 5 minutes when a pale woman with blonde hair and a white dress caught my eye from across the street. She was about my height and looked to be around my age too. I did not actually pay attention to her after I first noticed her. While I circled the block again, she was on the same street, a couple feet in front on me. She was standing on the curb staring at the cars passing by. It was a main road, so even that late people were still driving on it. I said hello to her and she turned her gaze to me. I couldn't see her face super well, but from what I think I saw, she had no pupils or color in her eyes. She just stared at me. After a while I asked if she was okay. She did not respond again and simply pointed at the road. I was really confused and didn't understand. Right as a red car started coming down the road, she stepped into the road. The car slammed into her and it was a bloody mess. The driver immediately stopped and jumped out. It was a man in his mid-20s. We both spoke about it, freaking out. He called the police and I went around the car to see the state of the girl. Once I circled around the car, she was gone. Not gone as in dead. Gone as in she just was not there. The blood on the road was gone too, but not gone from his car. After the police arrived, they concluded that it was some big hoax of a kid who didn't know what they were talking about and some guy who went along with it. The blood on the truck was brought to investigation only to be found as paint. Nothing else was put up about it. I'm still not sure if what happened was real. It felt so real, but I don't believe in the paranormal. I don't know what it was, if it was just a dream or if it was real. I remember it like it was real. I feel like I can't leave the house now. I don't understand anything now and I kind of feel like I'm going crazy. Has anyone else experienced something like this? If you guys want more of this, just comment down below and subscribe. I will try to do more for you guys to watch. Thank you.